who's starting this shit show.
Gavin and Gavin.
We're all starting at the same time. Ready? 3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome
There we go.
back to the Bane and
Everything is
Mickey
great.
Show.
Yay! Congrats.
Perfect.
Thanks for tuning in to 101.3 BKMG The Farce. Coming to you live from separate places, pre-recorded. Now presenting The Bane and Mickey Show.
One's a mouse and the other's on steroids.
Yeah, that sounds about
I'm
right.
both.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bane and Mickey Show. It's only been a week since you last heard from us, because that's how things roll. Today,
Sometimes.
we have a very special episode. Not only do we have a guest, but we have
a second
two guests. Whoa. Today,
It's amazing.
we are joined by Jack Collier and Emily Fitzsimmons, some film friends. You want to say hi?
Hello.
Hi, Jack Collier.
Oh, hi, Emily Fitzsimmons.
Yep.
You look very nice today, Emily.
Yep. They are some good friends. I mean, we've had Jack on before, but now Jack is joined by Emily because Jack and Emily also have a podcast called
We do.
Whoa.
the Scares,
Sometimes.
Spooks, and Kooks podcast. So we thought
When we
we'd
feel
do,
like it.
yeah. So we thought we'd do a little sharing
Crossover.
collaboration thing. Would you like to, Jack? You can introduce yourself again if you would like. But we haven't been introduced to Emily. Emily, would you like to tell us anything about yourself?
Oh,
I don't know. Who are you?
Yeah, so we do a podcast where we talk about spooky things. And then we also...
Also just personal trauma.
Oh, yeah, it's usually just like therapy sessions for us. We complain about life a lot. It's super spooky.
And we just can't help ourselves from going on tangents into movies and TV.
Yeah, so this will be good. We can get it out of our system.
What are your 2 rules on your podcast? Don't you have 2 rules?
Can't talk about COVID, can't go into movies that aren't relevant to the... So.
No movies,
And
no
we fail
pandemic.
every time.
Great. Well, if you don't like movies and you don't like the pandemic, then sounds like the Scares, Spooks, and Kooks podcast is right for you. And where can we listen to it?
Everywhere podcasts are found.
Except YouTube.
Except YouTube.
Well, that's
Great.
fine. Nobody cares about YouTube anyways.
Oof.
Pretty sure it's a dying platform.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for, coming on and talking about movies today. Again, it's against your morals, but,
It's not against our morals, fortunately, because that's all our podcast is about.
Today we're going to talk about one of the most dangerous films ever made, but before we get into that, Jack, have you watched anything good recently?
Well, me and Emily and Tina have been rewatching The Terror.
Ooh. Just the
on
first
AMC.
season? Or have you gotten to the second?
Yeah. We're almost done with the first season.
Yeah, we have 1 episode left.
Okay. It's on AMC?
Yeah,
Well,
but
well,
it's on Hulu.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
it's
was
on Hulu.
made by AMC.
Okay.
But it's on Hulu.
Nice.
Yes, if you have an affinity for old British men stuck in the Arctic and killing themselves, it's the show for you.
Great.
Perfect. How old are we talking? Are they at least in their 70s?
Some of them are.
I want to
right?
say like 40s to 60s.
Well, yeah, there's like
Well, that's not
young
old
dudes
enough.
too.
Yeah.
But they're old
Young
in the sense
dudes.
that it's like the 1800s. They're old in time, not necessarily in age.
Well, it'll have to do.
Gavin,
There's not enough
what have you...
old British content in the Arctic. That's what I've been saying
Oh my god.
for all these
I mean,
years.
speaking of British, I've been watching the British Bake Off recently because that's come back.
Nerd.
I am a nerd.
That's what I watched.
But also, I was going to say, Emily introduced us to House, a Japanese... Would you describe it as horror, I guess? It's supposed to be horror?
It's like a horror fantasy.
Yeah,
Which is a very odd combination.
It's a
but
weird
very
surreal
effective.
thing, It was good. It was interesting.
Yeah, we were watching like making of featurettes for it yesterday, and the screenwriter was like, "It's not a horror movie.
Oh.
It's a fantasy film."
Okay.
Even though I think there's some spooky moments. I mean, it's a haunted house movie technically, but it's just an extremely unconventional haunted house movie.
Yeah. Well, and then also us and Tina, we all got to watch some short films at a film festival a couple weeks ago. We went to the Northwest Film Fest local sightings and saw some cool shorts, including Toxic Chainsaw's very own Glumhouse Chums. Chum Buddy, talk to me. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. Go to Toxic Chainsaw Films on YouTube and you can watch it for yourself. That's the only plug.
Kendall, I told you a million times nobody watches YouTube anymore. It's a dying platform.
Well, one day Jack and I will get off of YouTube and onto bigger and better things. But
go on to IMDb TV. That's where everything is headed.
Oh God!
We're
It's the
aiming
next
for
Netflix.
Tubi.
Oh no!
Tubi. Any of the other ones that I can't remember the names of.
What was the one that failed this last
Quibi.
summer?
All of
Quibi. There we go.
Quibi and Tubi.
Yep.
Quibi's coming back.
Oh no.
Quibi will come back.
Okay. Well, Gavin, what have you been watching?
I watched the new Candyman, and I
Ooh.
watched The Mummy, the 1999 version with Brendan Fraser. And that movie holds up, actually. The effects don't as much. They're very 1999 effects, but everything else holds up pretty well. Plus, Brendan Fraser's super hot in that movie.
He's very young.
He is very young.
We also saw the new Candyman, and we both have very strong feelings about why we didn't like the new Candyman.
Yeah.
Do you have a strong connection to the old Candyman?
I don't.
I mean, not like super. I mean, it's a great movie, especially compared to the remake or the sequel or whatever it is. But yeah, no, we didn't like it.
Well,
What did you think?
See, I liked it, but I haven't really. I've seen the old Candyman maybe once, but I hardly remember it. I think I liked what it was trying to do, but I think it was kind of confusing, sort of, and fast-paced, and it was fine. I wouldn't say it's an amazing movie, but it was fine. I liked Malignant a lot better.
Oh
yeah, Malignant is a joyride.
But this kind of felt like, look at this thing we're trying to kind of reboot, sort of bring back, and I was like, it's moderately
They need
successful.
to stop. Like I said, I think we talked about this. When we were talking about The Lost Boys, they literally need to stop just remaking stuff and making.
But this wasn't so much a remake as more of a continuation.
Well, but even
Yeah.
that though, make new
It just
stuff.
didn't have enough Tony Todd.
That's fair.
I think that was the problem. More Tony Todd, always.
Well, let's get into the good nitty gritty. And when I say
We're gonna
nitty
call it
gritty,
good?
I really mean nitty gritty. Because today we are talking about Roar, a film that was made in 1981. And it is claimed to be the most dangerous film ever made. And according to Vice.com, they are the most anarchic cult classic. I don't know what that tells you, but
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know. That's how they described it. I have a bunch of history and facts about this film. Do we want to do that first
Dork.
or last?
Yeah, let's read your dork facts.
All right. So, other than it being a really dangerous film, the reason is because it involved 132 big cats of jaguars, lions, tigers, and cougars. There was one elephant that weighed 10,000 pounds. It was a bull elephant.
That elephant was the
Three
best.
sheep, and then a collection of ostriches, flamingos, marabous, storks, and black swans. All of these animals were owned by the co-stars and director Noel Marshall and Tippi Hedren. Now, why would they
Tippi Hedren.
make a film with this many animals of their own?
Because they wanted to die.
Apparently, hubris, yes. Apparently, in the 70s, when Hedren was filming a movie, Marshall and her visited a game reserve in Mozambique. They saw an old building full of lions, and they're like, hey, that's a cool image. Let's write a story about it. And later that year, in 1971, they started to raise lion cubs in their very own home alongside their 3 children.
They were clearly very successful.
They were raising these lion cubs, not in Africa, in California.
That's the same.
That's right. In Soledad Canyon, which is where the film was made, mostly at their family home. The whole thing is so insane, you guys. So Marshall wrote this story. Noel Marshall was the producer of The Exorcist. And then Tippi Hedren is like famous for like The Birds, and there's another Hitchcock one. But they're like, hey, we have money, we have fame and power, let's do a thing.
Wait, didn't Tippi Hedren get attacked by birds?
Oh,
in
yeah.
The Birds also.
Oh yeah. Also, they
So she
compared
just
this.
has
They
really
compared
bad
the
luck.
scene of the family in the house to the birds, and I was like, "That's not terrifying for Tippi."
It's not inaccurate either. It's basically the same.
No real actors wanted to be a part of this film because, you know, if you tell them there's going to be 132 big cats on set, and no one's going to want to join. So Tippi and Noel decided to act themselves, and guess who they cast as their kids? Their real kids.
Their kids.
The youngest of who was 17 at the time. Now, you're like, oh, that's fine. That's just a bunch of crazies. No. There were over 70 recorded injuries on this set, and they kept going. The set.
When you think about it, though, that seems really low in terms of how many people were probably on that crew to the amount of giant cats that were
To be fair,
present.
there were no recorded deaths. Just a lot of injuries and a couple facial reconstructions.
Except for Robbie. King Robbie.
Yeah, King Robbie.
R.I.P. Robbie.
Most of the blood in the film is real. Most of the injuries in the film are real. Marshall kept a lot of these in the final cut because he's a madman. His son claims that he kept recording even after people said to cut because people were getting hurt. Melanie Griffith, their 17-year-old daughter, had her face mauled and got plastic surgery. His wife, Tippi, got her leg fractured when it was crushed under the elephant. She also needed skin grafts after he tipped her off of... She was riding the elephant and she got tipped off and then attacked. Not purposely attacked, but hurt. Marshall himself was mauled repeatedly. He got blood poisoning and gangrene. And apparently it took 6 men 25 minutes to remove him from a lion after he had 56 stitches and returned to set 2 days later. Madman.
Well, and Tippi Hedren got bit in the head by one of the lions, too.
Yes. The worst of them was Jean Debont, the cinematographer. He had his scalp torn and needed 120 stitches. However, Noel Marshall praises him for being a trooper and coming back to finish the film.
I don't know if he's a trooper so much as just fucking bananas. Because
Yeah.
if I got mauled by a lion, I'd be like, we're done. I'll see you guys around. I'll send you the bill.
So there's a really... The film has a really terrible, like, catch. And it's like, no animals were harmed in this. However, 70 people were. Not only were they...
But it doesn't...
It's not true. It's not true.
Not true.
Because not only was there a bunch of, animal attacks, but the set was destroyed by 2 wildfires and 1 flood, of which the flood also harmed a number of the lions and set them back quite a bit. There's a reason this film was not released in the U.S. until 2015. Let's just keep
So I feel like you
that in
can get
mind.
away with it by saying they weren't harmed when we were filming. They got harmed off camera.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not our fault there was floods and wildfires that killed these animals.
The
R.I.P. King Robbie.
Yeah. So basically, when they came up with this idea, they were like, they wanted to make an activist drama, all about animal preservation and protection. And I think it kind of sends one of the opposite messages. But originally, they planned for it to take 6 months and cost $3 million. How long did it actually take, folks? Any guesses?
Wasn't it 4 years and twice as much?
It took 5 years and $17 million, mostly due to the hospitalizations.
Didn't I just say that?
Now, Marshall and Tippy ended up funding most of it personally when their financiers backed out. A very smart move.
What do you mean? Why'd they do that? I don't understand.
And when it was released, a bunch of production companies backed out because they got bored waiting for so long, but it only made $2 million at the box office. So.
Like, I felt like watching it, I was getting punked. Like, when is something gonna actually happen?
Yeah.
It felt like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie.
I wonder, I feel like they've probably done it, to be honest.
They haven't. I did a little research myself, and they have not done it.
Wow.
But they should, because it'd be a perfect candidate.
Yeah, it would.
I wonder if it's, like, just good enough that they wouldn't do it.
I don't know.
Is it? See, I feel like this barely even qualifies as a movie.
It's very documentary.
Like 2 hours of like bad improv and people getting mauled by lions. Like, there's no plot. There's no plot. Because, yeah, people keep getting mauled.
All of the scenes with the family are just
They're
so
terrible.
bad.
These people are clearly like distraught.
Yeah. And then half the time with
to...
Hank, the scientist, I'm pretty sure that's Noel Marshall just trying to convince the rest of the cast and crew that this is all fine. I'm like, I don't even think this was scripted. I think he's just talking.
They're just lions, guys. They only have huge fangs and powerful jaws.
Yeah.
They can't kill you that badly.
I've seen this.
Just look at the zebra. He's fine.
Look at the zebra. I've seen this film twice. Jack, you've seen it a couple times as well.
Yep.
I think the only reason I know about it is because of you. How did you hear about it?
Red Letter Media.
The best source for everything good and bad.
What's Red Letter Media?
Yeah.
Guess what, Gavin? It's on YouTube.
I've never even heard of YouTube.
Yeah, they are a group on YouTube that also does movie reviews. But yes, I think the spectacle that is Roar needs to just be pushed up into the spotlight. I think every film school, whenever someone raises their hand, they go, "Oh, professor, why do we need unions?" And then he just let me sit you down there, sonny boy, and then he puts in the Roar DVD, and they just go over their class time watching.
Maybe that should just be the first day of every film school. Like, you get all the film students together, watch Roar, and like, this is why we have rules, motherfucker.
It should be the first class of producing, to be honest. And be like, all right, now take notes on everything that the producer did wrong. Ready, go.
First, hey, you know what would be a good idea? A bunch of lions.
You know what would be even better
around.
than just a bunch of lions? A bunch of tigers and cougars and jaguars.
What about some bears? Don't be ridiculous. But we can get an elephant.
Yeah. This movie, it's just so much naivete. I don't know.
It's naivete.
Naivete in this film. There's so many moments where it's like, oh, they're just playing. You know, they're just trying to they're just trying to get to know you. It's just a few scratches. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, look.
With their big ass
There
nails.
are some cute and cuddly animals in this film. I will admit I fell for George the lion. He's very cute. He reminds me of my dog, the way he talks to Noel. However, my dog is only 70 pounds. And it's hard to play with him because he doesn't realize how big his paws and his teeth are. How big?
Lions are, like 200, 250, depending on areas.
Oh no, a male lion is 420 pounds average. A female is 280. So that's.
I was thinking of tigers.
That's like four of my dog on top of me, and let's be honest, they don't even if they are playing and trying to be friendly and they like the guy, the tiger or the lions do not realize their size and strength because we are mere toothpicks in comparison.
To be fair, though, I was rooting for these lions the whole time. I was like, just kill this family. They clearly deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the director is so unlikable. Like, I just hate him. Every scene he's in, I'm like, this guy sucks so much. He is so full of himself and so full of hubris to think that, like, no, I get these lions. I understand the lion. While they're mauling his family.
And there's a difference between, like, animal preservation, keeping up their natural habitat, and then, like, animal, like, domestication, which is not supposed to happen with wild animals. There's a difference.
Yeah. No, he's so full of it. And, like, the end credits where they're, like, lecturing you about, like, oh, you should protest outside the stores that sell fur. It's like, you shouldn't kill a bunch of lions because you dragged them to California.
Exactly, yeah.
And they died in a flood. Like, don't tell me what to do, Mr. Marshall.
It's very much like if Grizzly Man decided to make a feature film instead of a documentary.
Well, yeah, I think watching this immediately, what comes to mind is Grizzly Man, because it's very much the same thing, thinking that you can, like, place yourself into this world. I mean, Hank, the character, even says it at one point, like, in order to be in their world, you have to play by their rules or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, there are rules of them eating you and for dinner. Like, that's the rules here.
I will say some of those lion and tiger actors, when they got shot, they were very good. And they did their job really good, falling down and pretending to be dead.
Yeah, almost too good. I was wondering how they filmed that. Like, did they just push them off the cliff? Was there a hand on the other side just pushing the lion?
I think they just hired Scar from
It is
the
a
Lion
little
King and were like, what
suspicious.
you're going to do is you're going to push all these lions off cliffs.
Oh, no. Gavin, that's too
They
soon.
were fine. They were fine.
Yeah, it is a little suspicious how good of actors they were. Yeah, the whole letting them into their house, like, it's fine if he wants them to live around outside of the house and all that. Like, that's fair enough, natural habitat, and they'll just get to know that he's living in the house. But the fact that he just lets them come in the house, destroy all their stuff, like, what the heck is going on? There's that one shot where the family, like, looks over the banisters and the lions have brought the dead zebra into the house, and this pristine white floor is now just mauled in blood. It's like...
It was hilarious.
But it's okay, because they lick it all up after.
They do clean up after themselves. They're very tidy.
Yeah, I don't... Do they, though? Because Togar was walking around with blood for quite a while.
Well, yeah, but Togar was off by himself. He didn't have anyone.
To lick it
And he
clean.
didn't have anyone to give him a bath.
Oh my gosh.
But then at the end, he is getting a bath because he made up with his brother King Robbie.
Yeah.
And now they're best pals.
Yeah, because he murdered 2 people.
It's like, thanks, buddy.
It's like, okay, you can come in.
You motherfucker, you stay out of my goddamn camp. I killed 2 people, dude.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Come on in.
Come on in.
It is a little too convenient how much water is around their house. Like, he's basically living on, like, a houseboat, but, like, 3 times the size. It's like this giant square, like, 4-layer tier with ramp thing. I don't know. It looks like, I don't know. But there's just water everywhere conveniently for them to, like, jump in and
It
stuff.
is a pretty cool location.
It is a cool location
aside
and
from
a
all
cool
the lions.
house. But, yeah.
Well, I think the lions are fine. You just gotta leave them the hell alone.
And don't have 100 of them.
Yeah,
Just wandering
that too.
around.
Like, like, all the animals just seem so stressed
Oh,
out.
yeah.
And they're just, like, especially the elephant. I hated the elephant scene. It made me so upset. I was like, this poor elephant.
I mean, no wonder they're all stressed out, though.
Yeah.
There's how many crew members and people.
Yeah. They're packed. There's like 100 of them packed into a room together. And of course, they're all gonna, like, beat the shit out of each other.
I don't think a tiger is meant to sit on top of a boat. Like, there's a reason the boat sank, you know?
No.
Multiple
or in the back
times,
of a
like...
Jeep.
Oh, but that was so. Those were some of the best parts when the tiger's just like acting as if it was a normal cat
Gavin was
and
counting
climbing in the boat.
how many boats were sank.
It was 3.
It was 3
They
boats.
lost 3 boats, all by tiger. Well, no, 2 by tiger, 1 because they ran.
3
One by
boats, 1
elephant.
motorcycle, a ladder.
So what I really liked about when all the family was there and the elephant comes into the picture is, like, first it just completely destroys their boat in a hilarious and overly aggressive fashion. And then when the people are getting knocked off and the barrels into the water, the way the lions were looking down, it's like they'd placed bets to see who was going to win, person versus elephant, and they're just waiting to see how their bets were coming out.
Yeah.
I did like the barrel.
The barrel-
scenes. They were. I think I made a comparison to a Jackass while we were watching. It felt like the extra Jackass movie, especially when she gets the honey poured all over her. It's like, why are you doing this to this poor woman? Your wife is doing you a favor, and she's getting it worse than anybody.
I know. And you're just fine.
Gavin was saying the scene of the lions drinking the water out of the one barrel went on for far too long, which is fair. But I will say, the fact that the lions are like, we'll just drink him out of this barrel, that's all good. Like, it's pretty smart.
And then like, you're in there, motherfucker, get out of my water.
Yeah. But yeah, there's this one quote where he's like, they're not trained pets, they're just friends. And I'm like, they're not trained. Like, get the fuck out of there.
They're barely your friend.
Hell? The whole... Yeah, like, let's just talk about the no plot thing. The whole, like, oh, no, we're here in the morning. He thought we were coming at night. And then that terrible, like, exposition between the family that's, like, mostly voice over because they're, like, off screen during, like, the title sequence. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is
so
a terrible
weird.
Conversation.
Even more terrible is the random-ass bus conversation they have where the daughter's like, maybe it's because you and Dad weren't fucking enough. And it's like, goddamn.
Yeah. Which is weird because her dad wrote the movie.
Right? And it's like, was this scripted or... Yeah, it's a little...
Well, I feel like the beginning is more scripted, but then as they're trying to deliver the lines, you see the animals just, like, fucking with them so they can't, like, get
and
their
half
lines
the time
out.
you can't even hear what
and
they're
then
saying.
people just start getting attacked, so then they have to fill in the gaps because they can't deliver any of their lines.
It's it's terrible. It's kind of like that really good kind of bad where it's like, you guys, you're the dumbest. I want to see more.
Well, and then of course they do the dumb, thing that goes against every survival technique, which is like, if you're waiting for someone, don't leave the area, like stay put. And they're like, oh, we gotta go find him. He's never coming back. And I'm like, dude, it's like barely afternoon. If he thinks you're coming in the evening, he'll come back in the evening. No.
But what if he doesn't?
It's like, oh,
then
he's
he'll be
already
stuck here
dead.
for 2 days.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I feel like, honestly, the family plot was enough. I don't understand why they had the poachers, other than for the point initially it was like trying to make it Yeah. Because I kind of get it, but also the poachers had almost no effect, other than them finally being like, Togar, come on in, buddy. You can be with us now.
And them getting, like, insanely mauled, and he's just like, oh, it's just a scratch.
'Tis but a scratch.
Well, I'm the opposite, where I didn't like the family, like, at all. And these poachers, they want to frame them as the bad guys, but they make a lot more sense than him.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with Jack that it could have probably been a better plot if it was just the poachers. Like, I don't think the family needed to be involved at all, other than, I don't know, it was so stupid.
All right, okay, that's a fair point. I guess I just meant, like, focus on one of them, and since it was already so focused on the family,
Yeah.
you might as well just throw out the
One or the
poachers. But I agree, the poachers would have been better. And I think it was just way too many lions. That's what makes, like, Two Brothers or Secondhand Lions work, is there's like one lion or two tigers.
Uh-huh.
So it's like if you had, like, honestly, even like 10 lions, I feel like it would have been a lot, like, more fine. They're just trying to protect this little pride of lions.
Yeah, they have, like, multiple prides of lions in this fucking house.
Plus tigers and leopards.
No wonder all the males are
cheetahs.
fighting each other, because that's what they fucking do. It's it's called the
And then
alpha
they just
male.
have a Tygon.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a baby Tygon.
And it's like, where did this come from?
We're getting this thing the hell out of here. That's never going to come into play again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then the one, like, lion that they just give all the cubs to, like the one lioness. And I'm like, why aren't you letting the other lionesses raise their own cubs? They're like, no, we just got this one lioness who's a really good mother, so she just gets 20 cubs to herself. Like, what the heck?
Oh, man. That was also pretty funny. It's like, it's not pigs or dogs. Like, you can't...
Yeah.
Why does she just get to take care of everybody? She's just lying there being a milk machine? It's kind of fucked up.
I'm surprised the other lions just let him take the cubs. No questions asked.
I know.
That's probably why they were so pissed off.
That was also my I know. Like, you're just pissing them off so much. I will say, though, that one moment where they come back and all their shit is destroyed, like the lions have just opened up these suitcases. This one lion just comes and like chomps up that bowling ball, and I'm like, where did this bowling ball come from? Why did
I did like that scene when he has the shoe on his tooth. That was pretty good.
Yeah, and there's the little cub who's like trying to skateboard. It's really cute.
Oh, the skateboarding was great. I just wonder how long they sat there and filmed that cub with that skateboard to get it to kind of ride the skateboard.
Yeah, it was very cute. Like, the cubs are very cute. Some of the, when they're tamed down and like chilling, they're very cute. But like, man,
I don't know if you noticed during the skateboard scene, but it looked like there was one like trying to push it along with him. Almost.
That's cute.
Like, come on, buddy.
I mean,
Go.
I almost think they should have just made a documentary about them like raising lion cubs. Like, instead of making a whole film, just be like, hey, we decided to raise lion cubs. Let's film that, because that's basically what they were. If we just watched a bunch of cute lions for an hour and a half, it would have really.
He could have been the original Tiger King.
Really, what we needed was like a Hearts of Darkness style behind the scenes of this movie.
There
I feel
is.
like that would have been worth watching.
Never mind. I don't think there's any behind the scenes, but there is. Tippi Hedren wrote a book called The Cats of Shambhala about the making of the film. And she also has an autobiography in which she talks about
I don't
it.
want to read it. Not some kind of dork who just reads books.
I will say, though, for the whole theory on cats not liking water, they sure do swim a lot in this movie.
Just the tigers.
Just the tigers. That's fair, yeah.
Mostly the tiger.
There's like one moment where the tiger's like in the water and it looks like a crocodile. It's like hunting down the wife. Like, you just see its head and I'm like, it's coming for you. It's coming.
Because the tigers live over in like southern Asia a lot, so there's a lot of water over there. So they swim in the jungles. That was another thing that always bothered me, is lions being called king of the jungle, because they don't live in the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
They live in the savannah. Not that there aren't jungles in Africa, but usually when you see them, they're on the savannah.
Yeah.
So king of the jungle feels a little bit of a misnomer.
How about that really crappy ending where they're all just like, oh, now we're friends with the tigers. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
They're
just out of nowhere.
I loved the shot at the end where they're like sitting on top of the mountain, Tippi Hedren and the director. And it's supposed to be this like cute moment, but she keeps having to like push the lion away because it keeps trying to like bite her face.
Yeah. Like,
nothing wrong with that.
There's this whole like subplot of like, the dad went down to Africa because their marriage was like rocky. Ironically, after this film, the two filmmakers divorced. So, that's.
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why that would be tense and put a strain on their relationship.
Not at all, really.
It really doesn't make any sense
Who
at
could
all.
have seen that coming?
Yeah, and then we get this nice little like happy montage at the end where they're all playing, and I'm like, you should have just opened with this. Like, this should have just been the movie. If you're trying to make people want to like the animals, like, this should have just been the movie.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part for me, especially with the elephant. I'm like, you're portraying elephants as these like violent, crazy creatures, which is just not true. And it's like, why, if you're so big on like animal rights and conservation, why are you portraying animals so poorly in this movie?
And it's like, the animals in 90% of those scenes are super stressed around people they don't know, so of course they're going to be on edge and not want them around. And these people are basically invading their home, so even more so. But like, yeah, they're again, they're wild animals, and even if they want to play, they're 3 times as big as you are and can crush you. Like that one moment where the elephant's like so easily crushing this boat, and I'm like, dude, this is why you don't play with elephants. Like it's just massive. 10,000 pounds. I don't know.
5 tons. Damn. It didn't seem that big.
It's just very bulky.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I also liked when he's just like riding his motorcycle off in kind of the beginning, and then the giraffe just kind of runs past him.
Yeah, that is kind of cute because it's like the giraffe wants to race him or something. But
We're running faster than you, motherfucker. Get out of here.
yeah. Well, and then what was it with the okay, so the son gets the motorcycle later, but then he's driving it through the house. And I'm just like, dude, get off the bike.
Because he's
Nobody can drive in
he's
this whole
trying to
damn movie.
outdrive the lions, but he just, for some reason, he thinks I can drive to the roof and
He
everything
should have
will
just
be
hopped
fine.
off. I mean, and then he ends up driving it off of the house in general. I don't even understand. I don't know.
I feel like he only makes it like 100 yards outside like of the house.
I know, he's like going
but
in
then he circles back.
He can't even drive the thing.
No one can drive in this movie.
I wonder whose idea was it that, hey son, you're gonna drive a motorcycle off the roof? Or did the son like volunteer? Like, hey, can I drive a motorcycle off the roof?
I don't know.
Hey Dad, can I drive this motorcycle off the roof? Now son, that might be a bit dangerous, but there's lions everywhere. Alright, fair enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, there were no stunt people for this film. Keep that in mind.
I like how at the end the director is Noah Marshall and friends.
Yeah.
All of his animal friends. I will say, at least they credited all of the animals. That was nice to see all of their names.
But there's no like in loving memory of so and so, whatever the main lion's name is.
King
that
Robbie.
dies.
King Robbie.
Yeah, King Robbie. Like, sure, you can credit him, but he died during production. You aren't going to give him a little in memoriam at the end of your movie?
Well, that would be ridiculous.
And then also in the like special thanks part, they thank like 2 people. And it's like, you're not going to thank your AD that almost got his eyeball ripped out of his head.
Or your your stepdaughter who had to get facial
Yeah.
reconstruction and return to set with the facial reconstruction. Like, what the heck?
Well, she came back. It was almost removed, guys. Not all the way removed. I think you're missing the big picture here.
Yeah, no, the whole film is just like a serious lesson in set safety and like when you're when you're filming, don't do that like I'll do whatever it takes like to get the footage thing, because you're just putting everyone at risk and it shows. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. People are so dumb.
It also just shows that maybe Jon Favreau was right to use CGI lions for The Lion King and not get real ones.
Or like for Life of Pi. Although I think they had a real tiger at some point for that. But still, like, I don't know. I also just hate the awful tagline that the movie has about like no animals were harmed, but humans were. And I'm like, don't make it a joke. Like, it's literally such a serious topic. Like, don't joke about it and make it seem all brave and whatever, that these people got hurt for your stupidity.
But to be fair, I don't give a fuck about those humans.
Oh.
I do like all those lions.
Oh my god.
I do feel pretty bad for all those actors on that boat at the beginning when the tigers like capsize it, and then they're all just flailing in the water as these 2 tigers just maul.
Seriously, like, and that's like all real stuff too. And it's like the tigers are just trying to get out of the water as much as you are. Like, you know, if you're struggling in the water, you're gonna crawl over your friends and stuff. That's basically what the tiger's doing, except it's 400 pounds and it's gonna sink you in 2 seconds. But you know,
See, part of me feels like there's no way they could have accounted for the tigers like crawling onto the boat and capsizing it. But also, for some reason, it's the 2 poachers that the tigers specifically go after.
Yeah.
did they like put some meat juice on their costumes or something? Like,
Oh no.
I don't know, man.
It was those mustaches.
You damn dirty mustache fools. We're gonna get you.
Oh man.
El Tigre style.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then those 2 tigers just pal around for the rest of the movie. I'm not getting in there, dude.
in retrospect, the film has a really pretty opening. It's a nice like tribute to Tanzania and Kenya. Very beautiful places, but I don't know. If anything, it needs to be seen just to teach young filmmakers a lesson. I don't think it really needs to be seen for any other reason. Especially because then you're just promoting the wrong thing, really. But
That's true.
I think the end credits were my favorite part of the movie. I have one more thing to say about the end credits.
Say it.
There's a message at the very end where the director is like, please help prevent film piracy. Here is my name and address. Please contact me if you see anyone pirating this movie.
as we're all watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
As we watched it on YouTube.
Dude, yeah.
Please don't report us.
No one cares, Marshall.
You can report us. It's for a movie nobody cares about.
Emily, since you're so into the end credits, how about that Humane Association credit at the beginning?
Ridiculous and just so blatantly not true.
It's like I don't did they even get permission to put that on? I doubt it, because if the American Humane Association saw this film, they would not. Especially when they learn everything that happened on the set. Like, the whole point of, like, preservation and safety of animals is, like, their safety and our safety. Like, not, like, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, we watched, like, a making of video on YouTube yesterday. And the guy's son was like, yeah, the rule is for every animal... or like for every 10 animals you have to have a trainer or something.
No,
like
it was 3 trainers for one animal.
3 trainers for one so they would have had to have like 400 plus trainers.
How many trainers did they have on set?
I don't think they had.
Probably 0. I know no Marshall probably counts himself as
Marshall raised
Yeah.
some lions, so he's pretty much the expert on it, and he knows how to handle 133 big cats,
how he just, the lions start fighting and he just runs at him.
I know, right? Like that.
Stop that!
Stop it!
Oh my god.
Hey, stop! Guys, stop fighting!
And then they just immediately swat him away.
Guys, stop! Fuck out of here, man. I will kill you. No, don't.
Can we talk about the champ that is
Mativo?
Yeah, Mativo.
Yeah.
He's the only one in this movie that actually makes any sense. Like, I'm not getting in the car with those fucking
pretty
tigers.
sure
They'll bite me
he
in the
had
face.
no idea what he was getting into, and all of his lines were just real-time reactions, because let's be honest.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Like, that's
all.
his actual last name is Mativo. Like, they didn't give anyone they just use everyone's real names. And I'm like, is this a fiction movie? Or is this just you and your family being dumbasses? I think it's the latter.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do 2 things, Kendall.
And
it was a
his
fiction
family
movie,
being dumbasses?
but then, yeah, it was a movie about what if his family was a bunch of dumbasses and my name was Hank and not Noel.
Oh my god.
That's the fiction, Tippy. My name is not really Hank. It's Noel. You got that crazy look in your eyes, Noel. It's Hank.
Well, Jack, Emily, Gavin, do you have any other words to say about this insanity of a film?
Not any positive ones.
As fucked up as Noel Marshall is, I do love some of his line delivery. Like, that's Robbie! He's the boss! And that whole scene where Mativo's just like, the lions are picking your family's bones clean right now, and he's just like, you shut up. Like, he doesn't have an actual, like, response to it. Like, no, these are really just gentle creatures. He's just like, you stop that.
You better not say that, buddy. I don't like the thing you're saying.
I mean,
right
it's
now,
probably true, but we're not gonna acknowledge it whatsoever.
How about you, Emily?
I mean, I'm glad I watched it. It was funny. I'm glad I pirated it. No, Marshall.
Make it a statement.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, because, he produced The Exorcist, so I guess he's not a complete hack.
Well,
but I mean, that's another movie where, like,
I was gonna say that's just another poor example of film.
Yeah,
filmmaking.
yeah.
Was he producer or was he executive?
He was producer. Yeah.
So it begs the question: is The Exorcist cursed, or is it just Noel Marshall that has bad luck?
It's Noel Marshall.
Yeah. And Tippi Hedren should have learned her lesson about doing movies where people throw animals at your face.
And just
the
doing
director is
movies
psychotic.
for shitheads, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Tippy. It'll be fun.
Oh, no, he was executive producer for Exorcist. Unless he was
was he?
both.
Okay.
But
Still,
we'll see.
that's two movies
yeah,
where
that
people
he's
got
paying
hurt.
for, like...
Doesn't seem like a coincidence. Seems a
Oh,
little
I think he's both.
suspicious.
Yeah, whatever.
Noel.
I don't know. Either way, stop paying for people to get hurt. Well...
Little known fact, the Exorcist demon was actually just one of Noel Marshall's lions.
Oh my god. Alright.
Despite how dangerous they are and seeing them maul a bunch of people, I still want to smush all their faces.
They were very cute. I
They
kept
were.
going, aww.
I know.
Just want to go, who's your big bad lion? Come here, Togo, you big boy. Who's a big
So,
Oh, yeah, you got blood all over your
If
face.
Gavin goes and runs off to join the lion prides, no one go rescue him because that's his own damn fault.
At least film it.
Well, I would be smarter than Noel Marshall. I wouldn't put him in a house. I'd be out there with him like, so what are we doing today, boys?
Get left in
Grow
their
a bunch
dust.
of hair, get a big mane. I'd get jacked so I could run around with them. I'd be like George of the Jungle or like Tarzan, but with lions instead of gorillas.
Oh man. Well, should we do some random topic time? Well, now and
They
clear our
have random
brains of
topics.
Oh.
clear our
So
brains
we pull a
of
random
mush.
topic from a box, and then we talk about it. And sometimes they're really good, and sometimes they're really bad.
Yep.
Like sometimes they'll just say peanuts?
So
Question mark?
Jack, I need to bring this over to your apartment because we are running out of random topics. And since you or Tina are the shareholders of most of the original topics,
We
I
are.
need to collect some.
That's true. We are running
All
low.
right. Emily, would you like to choose a color between pink, blue, and yellow?
How about yellow?
What monster wrote this?
What?
Noel Marshall.
I believe that is a collection of handwritings. Actually, that might be my handwriting. I don't know.
All right, Kendall, you have to write it on a separate sticky note. We'll put it up on the Instagram and take a poll.
All right, that was a dud, so we're going to do another one. Well, I think I purposefully wrote it in different handwritings. Okay.
Uh-huh.
What is the best way...
Sounds like fake.
Oh, this is great. What is the best way to die?
I don't think by lion.
We have had this conversation before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
If you go over to-
episode 3.
If you go
I
over to the
believe
Scares,
the one with
Spooks, and
Tina.
Kooks podcast, Jack, Emily, and Tina will discuss their preferred methods of death. A little morbid, but you know.
I guess that depends on how you want to go. Like, do you want to go out awesome, painfully, or peacefully?
All three.
My original answer was a firing squad where I get to handpick the people who shoot me.
I'll do
I-
it.
Jesus.
Yeah, so one day
Don't
you're just gonna get a letter and say you've been invited to the execution.
You've been
party.
invited? God damn.
Everybody take a gun on your way
Oh,
in.
man. Should we do another one? Jack, do you want to choose a color this time?
Well, do we want? What are your guys' preferred?
I think
deaths?
fast.
Well, let's see.
Fast and
If I want it to be
peaceful, maybe.
both fast and awesome and peaceful, I want to be like on an airplane fighting a bunch of lions, and then I have to jump and fall out, but then the Air Force snaps my neck so I don't feel
What?
myself hit the ground. But it snaps so instantaneously that I don't feel any pain.
I mean, that's fair. I think an action movie death would be kind of fun, as long as it's fast, you know. But I think it's like one of those charts where it's like choose two of these. It's like a production chart where it's like cheap, fast, and good, and you can only choose two. I think it's like that. You can only choose two between painful, or like peaceful, adventurous, and painful. You know, I think you can only choose two.
I disagree. There's got to be a way to have all three.
All right, Gavin, when you come up with that way, let us know.
I mean, I feel like I was right on the cusp with my fighting lions on an airplane thing, but I'll get back to you.
Okay. I just don't know if it would be super peaceful because you would just be adrenaline rushed, the whole time. But
Well, that's what I'm saying. All the adrenaline, I don't feel all the pain coming on me. And then as soon as I jump out of the plane without a parachute because I'm a badass, and then the air, like all the G's in the Air Force because I'm like 10 miles up and I'm just kind of hovering in the stratosphere.
I don't know if 10 miles
going
is far
down.
enough, buddy.
Listen, that's not the point. It doesn't matter. And then as I'm falling, I break the sound barrier and I snap my own neck, instantly killing me. And then I land in the ground, but the impact is so big that I open up a diamond mine.
Well,
But I don't feel it because I peacefully died in the air like a couple miles before that. And it was awesome because I jumped from a plane while fighting lions.
they dedicate this diamond mine to you. All of your heirs get a bunch of money, and you die peacefully knowing that they're settled. I think that's a great
It will go
end
to all of my cats.
to today's episode. Don't forget to check out the Scare Spooks and Kooks podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Apple
everywhere else you
Podcasts,
like to
wherever you
listen.
get your
It's out there
podcasts.
somewhere.
If
Check
you're
it
not
out.
just doing Spotify, what's wrong with you? Who listens
Some
to
people
Apple?
are cool.
Jack, where can we follow and find your work?
Toxic Chainsaw Films on YouTube. We also have an Instagram. And me and Emily are gearing up for a Halloween short film.
Hey.
Ooh.
And Emily, where can we find you and your work?
Ditto. Unless you want to watch some sick corporate vids, then you can visit emilyfitzsimmons.com.
Oh, I'll check out some sick corporate vids.
That's right. Emily's pretty handy with that camera. Make sure you follow, rate, and share this episode. Let us know how we're doing. And if you like this episode, share it with a friend.
Follow us on Bane and Mickey _ podcast on Instagram or at Bane and Mickey on Twitter. Check us out at baneandmickey.buzzsprout.com or anywhere you find your podcast for new episodes and updates.
That's the baneandmickey.show.buzzsprout.com.
That's what I said.
Stay safe, everyone. Have a good week. And whatever you do, don't raise big wild cats. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.